Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. Please like, subscribe, and comment, share the video. And if you want to join the Patreon, join at patreon.com/but I'm not a trader. I realized that when I did the Apple video, it had no audio, which I have no idea why I didn't, because I have my audio turned on for this. So I'm hoping this one is all good and checked, and I'll basically be doing the same analysis that I did on Apple from scratch, right? Which I haven't really done in a while, and I don't really care to do because it takes so long to like redo them all the time. But I'll do it because it's been requested in the comments to do like full analysis, and honestly, like I see the comments and I'm just like, I don't want to spend like 20 minutes on just doing analysis when I already have the full chart already set up, right? But I'll do it on Tesla. Just because, like I said, I have time. I just finished running, so I have time, and fuck it, bro. So, like I said in the Apple video, unfortunately, did not have any audio, but I don't mind doing it again here. I usually only like going back about like 3 months, right? When I do like TAs like this. So April. So where are we in? We're in October, September, August, like July. So I usually like picking ranges here, right? So that's usually what I do is I pick like, I just go on the chart and I'm like, oh, that looks like a nice range here. So I'll start with the low, and you don't have to go all the way down here because this is like back in like April levels. But I mean, you could just do it just to have like something on the chart. I generally like to stick to the most recent activity. So I take with this generally like this general low here on Tesla, right? So I go with that. And then that obviously that makes me think like this hits these ranges here, these wicks. So it's definitely a really good starting point, right? And the way that I do TA and support and resistance is I try to hit all the wicks that I can on the range that I'm looking for, right? So here, because I already have that range set, right? I generally, that's 1, 2, and then 3 wicks right there, right? And then you basically just go all the way until you set it up here. You can also have this be set because you're touching these wicks over here, but it's generally just a preference, right, of where you want like to set your stuff. And I like having my ranges a little bit tighter just because I don't like looking back like a year for support and resistance, right? So let me see here. All right, this looks like a really good top right here. So right now I have my range of this 276, right, which hits this wick here, and then right there, right? I don't want to put it up here because there's no reason to, but I mean, you can set a high there, and then you can set your low of range like right there, right? So you already have on the weekly, you have a pretty good set of ranges right now, right? So for this one, let me see, I want to hit a little bit higher. Oh, that's my wife, she just got to running. I'm gonna go a little bit higher, see if I can hit anything on this range. So Tesla's a little funky because it doesn't have a lot of weekly like solid weekly support here, right? Because you have wick, and then they're all just kind of all over the place. So I'll go to like the most recent one, which is right there. Maybe a little bit. Can I go higher? Yeah, I'll do that. That seems a little bit better. But I don't like it just because you do have these two so close together, right? You do have this 205 and this 212 range that it's kind of funky, and I don't like it because it's so close. I hate having weekly ranges or weekly support and resistance so close to each other. So here, I'll stop right there for that one, for that range. And then here you have another one. There you go. And generally what I like doing is I like grabbing points of interest or peak highs, peak lows, right? So if you're high right now, low, generally some sort of weekly resistance support right there, right? So you already have your weekly ranges, right? Your weekly support and resistance. And I only use weekly support and resistance because I don't like using the daily when it gets like really choppy, and you start having like that's my daughter. Boy, mama. And then you start having like a lot of, she's saying that she's cold. I'll go right now. Boy, mama. The next step that I have is usually going down to like the daily or like the 2-day, just because it's a little bit more accurate, and I like adding my trends here. So you do have like a nice solid trend right there. I usually only have my trend up to that second top of that high, right? So I would generally stop my trend right there because 90% of the time you don't need to go all the way down to the second one right here like that, right? You don't have to. You can. I generally like having it at that high, but we'll do it down here just because it's like best practice, right? Wait, mama. So we'll have it down here, right? We'll have that trend down there. And keep in mind right now, you are getting, and then after this next step, right? You already have your weekly support and resistance. Then you have your trend right here, right? Next step is to actually look at, for me specifically, is looking at my triggers, right? So right now, the 2-day is generally pretty good at eyeballing, what range we are or what the bias is. So you've had a daily trigger on, right? We've essentially been on a perfect entry since October 27th, right? So you would have bought probably down here at 206. You would have come, oh wait, sorry, right here. So you'd have bought right here at the close at 206 for maybe like a month out, right? So you would have been holding like November 27th calls. You would have dropped down pretty hard and then you would have kept rallying towards the upside, right? And by November 27th, right, you've already hit a really nice target here of this 241, 242 level, right? So as of right now, because you are on a daily bear trigger, right, this last one right here, these last three have actually been pretty bad, these last two. So we do not want to go using the daily. The 2-day has been pretty good. So we want to look for that range, right? Or that cycle range, right? So last time, September 19th, where it triggered, you ended up going from highs of 273 to an immediate low of 234, which is around $40. And then you had another 2-day trigger. You went from 260 all the way down to 193, so like a $70 drop, right? So right now we are looking for something similar around the $40 to $60 drop. At 235, you're looking at probably going back to like a 195, right? For that the initial $40 drop. So I can see it's coming back down to here to like 195 after this 2-day closes, right? But I can definitely see this already being that 2-day bear trigger, that 2-day bear candle, right? So bear candle on the 2-day, drop. Bear candle on the 2-day, continue the drop. Bear candle on the 2-day, continue the drop. So I can see us doing one of two things. I do think as of right now we have topped on Tesla, so I can see us coming back down to this $40 to have this $40 drop, or continue this another what is it called? Another 30 points down. So somewhere around that range here. And just for coincidence sake, right? Let's say we do drop that. Do we have any major support around that level? And you do, right? You do have major support around this level, this range of like 165 to like 150-ish, right? This whole range here, I'd say, is a pretty good level of support. So would not be surprised to see something like this happen within the next month or so. But again, we do need that 2-day trigger to close. Once that closes, that's basically confirmation for me that we're going back down to either 193-ish range or possibly even lower to like a 165. You could immediately just dip down and do like a double bottom right here, double bottom, and then come right back up to this like 240 level, and then break that and then explode back to like a 276, right? So I can definitely see that happen where you come back down, double bottom, and then you just shoot up like that. But for the next 2 weeks on Tesla, Apple, everything, I'm pretty bearish towards everything right now, just because we have the SPY on the Nasdaq closing that 2-day bear. So as of right now, I'm pretty bearish. You do have this massive rejection on Tesla. It doesn't want to break this 241, 242 level, right? So I definitely say that this level is very, very bearish for Tesla, especially if it's been trying to break this for the last couple of days and it hasn't. So I would definitely consider shorting this on Tesla back to this, 212 low that you had before, and then possibly this full range of like 212, 205, 193, and then if 193 breaks, very, very high chance you're going back to like a 165, and you can even have your like support right here, right? You have two ranges of support. Can guarantee you that you'll probably see, let me see this. Can we go a little bit higher with this? Let me see. I like this range here. This is probably a little bit better, something like that. And then again, somewhere around like 160. Yeah. And then you have your gap fill right there. Let's see, do you have anything lower? Lower, yeah, I'd say this is probably your lowest end. Somewhere around that range of 124. So yeah, if you break 160, really good chance you drop all the way down to 125. Very, very good chance you close this gap at 146, you dip all the way down here. So, and again, this is on 2-day support and resistance, but I think there's a very, very high chance you drop down maybe to like a 205, 194. Right, you essentially have a double bottom or a higher or a lower high, higher low right here, and you bounce towards the upside, right? That's what I'm thinking for right now, but I am pretty bearish towards the low side, and I am looking more of a possibility of bouncing off this 205 and a 194 range as opposed to breaking this and just coming right back down to like a 170, right? So very low possibility we come down. Again, we can because retail's kind of shit right now and everything else is kind of dropping the ball. So we'll see. But again, I am going to be bearish for the next 2 weeks, and I hope this TA helped for those of you guys who've been like asking and stuff. And again, I don't like doing these TAs because they generally last a long time, and I like setting this up once and kind of forgetting about it really. And even right now, right, if you have that top there, right, you can even use your trend here on the fibs to get a really good idea of what your target would be, right? So, right, first target. So your first target hasn't even hit. Right, your first target hasn't even hit. First target on these fibs would be somewhere between 188 to 158, somewhere on this range. So what you can do here, right, is because we can get rid of this, get rid of that. This, we'll set it right there. What I like to do is, if I was taking divergence, right, I would basically take this. I would take, this is how I trade Forex, right? So I basically trade on divergence. It's very easy. Right, red. But again, the swings on Forex are very long. So essentially have my fibs there for trend. I look at which range has the most support resistance. It looks like you have really good support around, like I said, this 175, 160 level. If you go back further, let me see. Yeah, 160. So I'd argue that the initial target, right, from this high of 277 is you're still on this range, right? So I would argue that as of right now, we're still on target for like a 176 160 range. If I was trading this on divergence, right? If I was trading this on divergence, I would have been in here immediately on this like 277-ish level, right? And I would have been shorting now for a very long time. If this was just on the weekly, right? Since September, October, yeah, I would have been short since September. And you would have had a small retracement here, right? But again, you're looking at you're looking at this being the top and then coming right back down to somewhere to 176, 160. So if I were to short it at 277, my initial target wouldn't have even hit yet, right? My initial target is still in this 175, 160, and I would have been holding shorts all the way down. So keep in mind, divergence is extremely accurate on long time frames, so I would not be surprised to see this back at like 160, 170 in the next, I don't know, couple, like 2 months or something. We'll see what happens, but this definitely, even Tesla right now looks like it's very, very bearish to the low side. But we'll see what happens, right? Short term, I am very bearish, like I said. Short term, very bearish, at least back to like 212, 205. Longer term, very bullish on Tesla. I think Tesla's a great company, but again, short term, possibly next like 2 weeks, month or so, I'm definitely bearish towards 212, like 205, and then from here bouncing and coming right back up. So I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.